Alrighty, you asked for it. I'm doing it. I'm cooking shit and streaming it at the same time. So I guess let me start with what I'm going to be doing. Hold up. How do I flip this bitch around? Not beating the allegations. Alright, so, right? We got stuff for apple pie. You'll see how all this is going to work. Then we have 2 quarts of chicken stock reduced down to 1 quart for gravy for my girlfriend. And then we have, essentially what this is a brine. So inside of this, I have bay leaves, black peppercorns, dried thyme, what else? Cloves, salt, sugar. So, just typical brine stuff. The only thing I would say is if you're going to make a brine like this yourself, use whole coriander and like fresh thyme in a bunch. That's a lot easier, but this is all I had on hand, so I'm using that. But yeah, so I guess I'm going to peel some fucking apples because I got to make some apple pie shit. Morris, I swear to fucking God. Oh, you little shit. He keeps trying to get on the counters. But yeah, here we go. Boom. All right, let me fucking turn this bitch around again. Okay. So let me set up really quick because I gotta peel a whole bunch of apples. Well, not that many. Like 6 apples. And I gotta wash my hands. Okay, is that gonna be a good angle? Do you get the best apple peeling angle from that? I don't know. Might need to raise up the thing I got here. Is that gonna work or no? No. Raise it down. Put it down a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. Potentially. I'm trying to think of how to do this. I think that'll be fine, right? Yeah, it'll be good. It's a good apple peeling angle. Look at him. No. No. He's trying to get up on the damn counter. It's a game. It's a game to him. Alright, I want to see all you motherfuckers who are in here being like, oh yeah, fucking cook for Thanksgiving and stream it. Cook for Thanksgiving, stream it. I want to see all the motherfuckers in here, dude. Alright, I gotta take this fucking wash off too. And I gotta crank that down just a little bit. Okay. Boom. Let's start peeling. So this isn't my preferred peeler, but this is a peeler that I have. So I'm going to use it. You like that, Tom? Huh? You like that? Cook food for Thanksgiving. Stream it. That's what they tell me. Gotta get all the little bits off. That should be good. Let me tell you, I'm so glad we went last night to get the majority of this stuff, because last time I went out for like a holiday weekend, that was a weird looking apple. Last time I went out for a holiday weekend, I don't know about that one, Chief. Does this go away at all? I think this shit might be a little cooked. All right, 5 apples. We're doing 5 apples this time. Yeah, you peel that apple, you filthy animal. You like that? You like that? You like that? The fuck is going on? You don't know nothing about this, Camden. You order all your meals. You ain't never cooked a thing in your life, son. You got soft hands. You got soft hands, brother. On the crotch area too? Well, how the hell else am I supposed to do it like this? Is that what you want? And yes, I am 6 foot, so I look fucking crazy, I know. Yeah, peel that shit. You got soft hands, brother. Yep, that's a screenshot. Good. Good. You know, I think that brine's ready to stop cooking. But yeah, I'm helping my girl out with her Thanksgiving stuff because her mother is very sick and her father does not have time to take care of the mother. And also, you know, cook Thanksgiving dinner. So my girl's gonna be like pretty much solely responsible. So I'm gonna help out with some shit. That's easy to do. My collar's blue, but my neck is red. We have Miss Tactical TJ in the chat, it looks like. Is that what I'm seeing? That's Sarah. Tell you what, some of these apples are pretty fucking crummy, but it is what it is. Maybe I should learn how to cook while I'm shadow banned. Dude, fucking learn how to cook, bro. It's that simple. Just all you gotta do is watch some YouTube videos, dude. It's the same as like, you know, watching a YouTube video to like fix a car or like watch a YouTube video to like fix whatever, you know? Same difference, bro. It's easy. Easy stuff. Easy stuff, bro. Yeah. These apples are kind of crummy, but that's what I get for waiting until Wednesday to get fucking apples for Thanksgiving stuff. Either way, it doesn't really matter if they're like super crummy because, you know, it's gonna be cooked in a fucking pie, so it don't matter, bro. As long as you get all like the gross little like, you know, brown bits off to the best of your ability, that's pretty much all that matters. You gotta think, what did our ancestors do when they had fucking brown apples? Also, you don't have to worry about me dropping this in the trash can because, like, there's plenty of shit on top of here that's separating anything gross. Plus, I can just rinse it off after the fact. It's a good thing to remember if you're peeling over a trash can is remember what you put inside of the trash can. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's still a little bit of brown bits, but that's not too bad. Went 83 and 4 on Monday night, and then went on yesterday to find out I got shadow banned because I can't even carry on my camo grind. Well, maybe you shouldn't go out and buy a Cronus and plug it into the game and expect to not get shadow banned, Camden. Do we ever consider that? Do we ever consider that? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. They cook at apples, yeah. They cook at apples, yeah. They cook at apples. But yeah, typically I like the straight peelers that are like, you know, like a peeler that's just this, and then it has like a stem on it, so you kind of hold it like that. But this is the only one I got right now, so, because my other one rusted, and I don't really want to, like, you know, consume tetanus bacteria, so I decided to throw it away. Right? But yeah, we got a couple of things we're gonna be doing today, so you don't gotta worry about it. They Granny Smith? A fucking Cronus? Bro, I use one of them shits, real cheap wired controllers with LEDs and a Cronus in it. Bro, you got the one with the Cronus integrated in it? That's awesome. That's what's up, dude. They'll never know now. Alright, let me pick up some of these apple peels off the ground. That should be good. Alrighty, let me fucking put this over so you guys can see it a little bit. Probably need to raise the thing up if I had to guess, right? Just a little bit. So that way you can see like what I'm doing. Or do I need to do it from the other side? Maybe I need to do it from the other side. What do we think? I think that, yeah, that'll be better. Yeah, using a Cronus in the big 2.5 is crazy. No, I didn't do that in cheat. That's a likely story, buddy. It's a likely story. You can see how bad I am at Warzone. You can't call me a cheater. I don't know, dude. I haven't seen you play recently. You aren't beating the allegations, man. Tisk, tisk. Tisk, tisk. Okay. That's looking pretty good, I guess. So let me just get a knife. Right? Like a roughly 20-degree angle, right? Some people do it like this way. I've always done it this way throughout my entire professional career. Because I don't like the idea of putting a razor-sharp knife that close to my chest. Don Riot Shield Pete Red Sec Cooking Class FPS Gaming Thought, get it, pattern chat. Or I don't know what the fuck you just said, but just if you're smelling burning toast, fucking call emergency services, dude. Alright, that's pretty decent. Okay. So there's a couple of ways to do this. I'm going to do the part where I'm making a little bit of waste because I don't care. So okay. Apple. But yeah, typically the idea would be like, you know, so like cut it in half and then like core it, but I mean, it's a very trivial amount of apple that you lose. So, I don't know. They always taught me to do it like this. Because they always told me when I did it the other way that I was taking too long. So, I always do it this way. I was like, but there's less waste. There's less waste when I do it like this. So it doesn't matter. You need to do it. You need to do it like this because you're taking too long to do it. This is the quickest way, so do it that way. I'm like, okay. Fuck it. All right. Don't gotta tell me twice. Is that diamond? Yeah, so synthetic diamond grit, Dexter, what's this? Sharpening or honing steel? I can't remember. Is this what Battlefield gameplay is like? I might have to cop it. Dude, this is basically Battlefield, if you think about it. Like, yeah. It's good. This isn't a very expensive knife either. This is like... It's like a Mercer, like, base level carbon steel knife. So nothing too crazy, right? Measure once, cut twice. Yeah, there's a little bit there I can get off. I think this is gonna be enough. I can always throw in one of my girl's apples that she has as well, in case this isn't gonna be enough, because I did get a little bit of waste from one of those apples being gross, and some of these apples having like a whole bunch of brown bits on them. Yeah, I feel like last time I made my apple pie, it didn't have enough like filling on the inside almost. So the recipe I based this off of called for like 4 to 6, so I could throw one more in. It's basically the same. This is a Gala apple, right? Where the fuck? Oh. Right. Gala's the best. Yeah, she likes those. If I had to like pick an apple to eat, I would go for Honeycrisp. I really like Honeycrisp. I feel like it's like, for all intents and purposes, like just like eating a straight up apple, that's a good one. Because it gives me everything I want. But for cooking apples, of course, you want to use Granny Smith. These are the ones that stay together the longest. So, yeah. All right. What'd you say? What are you actually making? Apple pie? So I can run you guys through it because everyone wasn't here beforehand. Dude, it really does look like you're just jerking it. Yeah, that's why I did that like that and covered up my hands. So what I got going on today is I'm going to brine these turkey legs right here. So this is like their Thanksgiving turkey that they're doing for obviously Thanksgiving. And I'm brining these, so that brings us over to the stove where I have the brine right here. So it's roughly like 1 cup salt, 1 cup sugar, and then a whole bunch of bay leaves, whole black peppercorns, coriander, and like cloves, whole cloves. So, and then after that, I'm making the gravy. So this is like 2 quarts of chicken stock that I made, reduced down to 1 quart. So you get that like nice, like rich chicken flavor and like a little bit of sweetness. So yeah, that's what I got going on. Every single time I do gravies, like Thanksgiving gravies, I always reduce the stock because it makes it taste a little bit better. We add extra shit to it, but that's about it. But yeah, you'll see what I got going on with the apple pie. But yeah, I do have nicer knives than this, but I don't want to use them because it like hurts my soul to use like a $200 Wusthof around this same size in this kitchen. And this one's just like a beater knife. I actually got this for Curie, like for Christmas, like I want to say like 2018, some shit, maybe. And I was at her parents' house for the longest time. And when she moved in with me, we got this apartment. She brought it with her, so we have this. And now I have Curie calling me. She's probably like, oh yeah, I ordered something to the house. Or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. If she really wants to get me, she'll come into the chat. If it's important. If it's important. Yeah, you'll see what I got going on. So I'm going to cut up the apples first, and then I'm going to like start making the dough. And I have to let the dough rest before I start cooking it, so I won't be assembling the pie right now. Tell you what, some of these had skin on them, so I'm gonna just take that out for a second and just get rid of that. Yeah, we'll do. So this, that, and that. Okay, that'll do. I think there's another one right here as well. You're technically not supposed to scrape your knife on the cutting board like that, but I do it. Once again, this is a beater knife, so it doesn't matter. There's still one more piece with it. Okay, that'll do. Right? Good? Is this shit still on? I can't tell. Or did my shit disconnect? Did I get banned? Uh-oh. I lost 2 pieces. I rinsed them off. Do a little bit more. lost another one. Lost another one. Okay. That should be good. All right, so dough. I really can't tell if this shit's fucked. Is it fucked? Frozen butter, right? So it's roughly like 2 sticks of butter for this recipe. So I'm gonna like chop it up to the best of my ability. Obviously, when you cut through frozen butter, guys, like don't try to slice it. You'll fuck yourself up. Try to kind of chop it like this, so that way your hands are like away from it. Anytime you're cutting anything frozen, just be careful. I've seen some crazy shit happen when people cut frozen shit. This is your safest bet because there's not really any surface area for you to cut yourself. Especially if you're cutting frozen meats, you got to be extra careful. But things like this, it just doesn't feel good when you do it like that, you know? You gotta do it like this. Way better. Okay. So the idea is flaking the butter into the crust. That's what we're going to be doing. And the best way to do that, you either do it with your fingers or you do it with a food processor. And I'm going to do it with a food processor because that's the most consistent way to do it. It gives you the best results in my opinion. So if you want it to be like... All right, pie and gravy stuff. So I had to end the stream just a little bit because I had a phone call from Kiri and it was actually some really important shit, personal important shit that I didn't want to just have on the stream. So I'm here. I'm here now. Yeah. So what we're doing essentially is putting frozen butter inside of a food processor with flour, right, for crust. So this is salted Kerrygold butter. I already chopped up the apples, and yes, I am making apple pie. This is roughly 2 sticks of butter and 3 cups of flour. So yeah. Okay, I think that should be good. I got a little story about a food processor I have to share at one point. I don't know if I've ever told anybody this. So my first day, one of my first culinary classes or whatever, I had a food processor stuck. It was like a industrial RoboCoupe. It was stuck and it wasn't running. It was kind of fucked. Because the connecting bit that triggered the blade and everything, it wasn't connecting properly, and you had to push on it like this, so that way the connecting bit would like trigger the motion. And I was like trying to unstick something inside of the food processor, like with my, obviously this thing's unplugged and this thing's in here, so I'm not gonna hurt myself, but like I was like putting my hands inside of it, and I was literally like a millimeter away from like absolutely just decimating my fingers. It like cut back on, like just like it had like gremlins inside of it. It like cut back on, and it almost got me. So I'll never forget that. I respected the RoboCoupe after that. I'll tell you that much. All right, so this is butter inside of flour. I assume this is working, right? Unless I've been banned. Have I been banned yet? Because we were having some issues earlier. I might have to make sure I turn off some apps here, because I know I do have a lot. All right, I don't do phone lives very often, so should be good. I'm already covered in flour. All right, so the next thing, you have frozen butter, flour, then you have to get cold water. Now you don't want, like, if you're like me and you live in the American Southeast, a lot of the times our groundwater, like the water that's like, you know, like in the pipes under the ground, coming through the tap, it's kind of warm, right? So you got to be careful, because the idea is to keep the butter cold and relatively frozen so the crust flakes, right? So I'm going to use water out of my water pitcher, and I can't remember how much I'm supposed to put in this. Hold on. That should be fine. Yeah, let me get a little something something. Let's grab that. But yeah, when I mean cold water, I mean cold water, right? Like we're talking like 40 Fahrenheit, 40 or 4.7 Celsius, right? Like you want cold water. What's going on, Alexander? And we're just gonna bring this shit together, and then we're gonna let it rest until it's like completely cool all the way through, right? So here we go. I'm gonna start off with a little bit, and then we're just gonna like softly bring it all together. But that's the thing about, you refer to this as like a flaky dough or a mealy dough. Same thing as like American biscuits. Basically the same concept, except American biscuits have typically cream, butter, baking powder of some sort, flour, like that type of shit. There's other stuff you can put in it too. There's like, if you ask people, there's like a billion different biscuit recipes that like everyone uses. But the idea is that you want the butter to be, you know, still solid, not melting through the dough. Keep the dough nice and cold, so that way. Poor wireless connection. Your broadcast is fucked. Okay. But yeah, so I'm just kind of bringing it together. That's the idea. You don't want to like make this dough super wet. The idea is that it's like soft and it comes together nicely without too much water. Because if you do too much water, it'll be soupy when you put it inside the oven. So this is apple pie. I made a brine for some turkey legs. I have gravy in the works. Made my own chicken stock a while back. And I have reduced 2 quarts of chicken stock down to 1 quart, so that way I have reduced chicken stock, which gives it that nice, like, you know, unctuous, like, chicken stock flavor. Same thing that you'd expect from, say, something like chicken bouillon or something like that. But yeah, that's the dough. That's the idea. So the idea is, and you can kind of see it in the light, the little pockets of yellow, that's butter. That's solid butter inside of it. And then we're going to put this inside of a plastic bag, and we're going to rest it in the refrigerator until it's cold all the way through, right? So, roughly 4 hours all the way through. Right? Good. Now we got to work on the filling for the apples. That's what we're going to be doing. Once again, right? So, I got to wash my hands and like clean some of this shit up just a little bit. I'm like right here. You can like see my face. What's for dinner? Wieners. Marry me? You don't want me to marry you, dude. I'm a fucking psycho. You divorce me. Ooh, baby. So, making apple pie, brining turkey legs. I'll probably shred some cheese, too, now that I'm thinking about it. Gravy. So, stuff like that. I had my stream cut off just a little bit earlier, so. And I'll clean, I'll scrub up the majority of the shit after the fact. But yeah, I gotta like clean some stuff off before I go on to the next part. So we have peeled Granny Smith apples in a bowl of cinnamon right now. Yeah. Did all this shit, made the dough. Dusting the flour off of this, then we're gonna roll it up, put it back underneath. I need to brine my turkey. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's not necessarily, depending on how you cook it, it's not necessarily like the worst thing to do. If you're like say if you're smoking it or something like that, like sometimes you can get away with not brining it, depending on how you're cooking it, if you're really good at cooking it. But 9 times out of 10, if you're doing something like poultry that's naturally a dry meat, you probably want to brine it. But I don't know. It's personal preference. I know some people don't brine it, some people do. But if you want to like guarantee that your shit's gonna be nice and juicy and like, you know, relatively seasoned all the way through and like kind of delicious, brining's typically a safe bet. So yeah, we got water, flour left over. You look like Stuart Copeland when he was young, Police drummer. Ooh, I like the Police. Nothing like water and flour first thing in the morning. Ooh, let me tell you. Don't stand so close to me. Don't stand so close to me. Shout out Sting, shout out the Police. The band The Police. Alright, let's make some filling, guys. So this next one is 1 stick of butter, roughly 8 tablespoons of butter, to my understanding. I'll probably need to move this in a different way so you can see what the fuck I'm doing. This guy doesn't know the concept of glasses. Yeah, I only drink out of vessels for food. It's a known fact about me. I think you should be able to see that very well. Maybe I need to move it this way. Is this going to be better? I want you to see the inside of the pot. That's the goal. Can I turn it this way? Rotate your phone. Can't rotate your phone while recording. let me see what I can get away with here. Because I would prefer you, like, see this shit rather than not see this shit, you know? Hold up. Let me see if I can, like, get away with extending the whole tripod. And then that should be better, right? And then I gotta do this. Copeland is the creator of the police. Sting is a diva queen? Oh yeah, I can imagine. He's got that, like, how do you say? Like, that same energy that Bono has. Alright, I think that'll be good. I think that'll be good. Alright, so I can use both hands. First person POV, right? Okay. And yes, I do have my jar of water here. You know what I mean? He's got that Bono shit going on where, like, Bono's just like a self-righteous, like, sort of like, I don't know, I don't like him. You know what I mean? Something about him I just don't like. Kind of gives you the ick. Bro kind of gives you the ick. Alright, hopefully this doesn't fall. Turkey thighs are almost thawed. But yeah, we'll get into the chicken stock and all the other shit after the fact, but this is what we're doing right now. I have to wait for all of this to cool sufficiently before I throw it in the oven, so I won't be assembling the pie, though, on stream. So... next thing, we gotta wait for that to thaw. Might throw a little bit more butter in there, just in case. Because I feel like I need just a little bit more, but not too much more. So this isn't like a roux. It's roux adjacent, but it's not a roux. Follow Copeland, Facebook official page. This guy's epic. And a real punk. Oh yeah. I know the like the punk culture, like all that sort of shit, like OG like punk culture. It's different than, like, you know, new punk culture. I am familiar. But yes, salted Kerrygold butter. I would prefer unsalted because there's more utility with unsalted butter, but my girl prefers the salted butter. So that's what I use. So we're just going to melt this bitch up. And then we're going to add the flour and then the sugar afterwards. We got to add water in too, because there is obviously water involved in the filling. But there's really not that much that goes into the apple pie to make it delicious. It's the filling is literally, I mean, you can add like nutmeg and like fucking lemon juice and shit like that if you really wanted to, but you don't really have to. Like, I just did it with straight fucking, like, how do you say? Like butter, flour, half cup brown sugar, and granulated sugar, roughly. And it turned out pretty damn good. It was literally like a delicious apple pie. So I am going to do the exact same shit I did last time. Look at the flick of the wrist. Look at the flick of the wrist. Look at the flick of the wrist. But yeah, I'll just set that right there. This is like a high walled pot. I typically prefer to do things in this bad boy right here because they cook quicker because there's more surface area for things to heat up since it's like a wider pot. But this one has like stock occupying it, so I gotta use this one. High walled pots are good for things that boil over consistently. Granny can be a little acidic. Oh shit, my bad, bro. Did I reply to you, bro? Did I miss something? What kind of apples do you use? I don't think I've never really baked pies. Yeah, I didn't see this. What kind of apples do you use? I never really baked pies, but I think I've heard you use Granny Smiths. Yeah, Granny Smiths. Do you have golden types in the U.S.? So the idea is the acidity is balanced out by the amount of sugar that I have right here. Like all of the acidity from the apples is getting balanced out by this. So the reason why we use Granny Smith in particular is because of its ability to stay, like relatively like well structured and together when it's cooked. So other apples, when they get cooked, what happens is they turn into like a mushy like applesauce texture. But with Granny Smith, because of the fibrous structure of the apple, what happens is it can withstand a lot more higher temperatures for a consistent amount of time before it starts turning into that applesauce. So that's the reason why when we talk about baking apples and stuff like that, typically you think about like the Honeycrisp, you think about the Granny Smith, like things that have like a very fibrous structure that'll stay together. So yeah, Granny Smith is the way to go. But you're not wrong about the acidity. I'm gonna let the flour cook out just a little bit longer, and then we're gonna go. In shape, yes. But yeah, so you can always smell it once you smell like the cooking of like the flour. It doesn't smell like raw flour anymore. That's when you add this shit in, and then we add in some water too. So I'm basically creating a syrup in a way, a thickened syrup. The syrup is thickened with flour and butter and blah blah blah. So essentially roux adjacent, but not necessarily, right? And this looks super thick, and you're like, oh man, you're gonna put that in the pie, and then it's just gonna be like a whole bunch, like a thick like brick, right? No. So what ends up happening is you put this on the apples, and the sugar and like all that sort of stuff ends up macerating the apples. Maceration is the not masturbation. Maceration is like the process of putting like a fruit inside of like some sort of like liquid, in order for it to like sort of like soften itself up and bring out its natural juices, essentially like create like a, it almost chemically cooks it, but not necessarily. And if you really wanted to get like, different with it, you could like put some bourbon in this shit or something, but I don't really like bourbon in my apple pies. I mean, it's not bad, but like, I prefer not to. Like, I feel like bourbon is kind of overused in like certain baked recipes. Like, if we're talking like an apple cobbler or like peach cobbler, yeah, put some fucking bourbon in that, dude. Right? But I still have a little extra sugar. I didn't realize. But like, yeah, not apple pie for me at least. But yeah, you can see like you don't want the bottom to be messed up. So essentially we're just waiting until it gets like a darker like sort of color, like a more syrupy like look and consistency rather than like whole granules of sugar inside of there. And then we're going to toss it in with the apples, and then we're going to throw the bowl with the apples and this inside of the refrigerator over there. So that's the idea. Now I got it on like a lower heat, like medium low. And I don't got like fancy cinnamon. I got this, you know. I don't really give a fuck about that. It all does the same thing. Whoa. Woo! Yeah, that's Brian. Cooling the bad boy down. I'm about to throw this in the refrigerator for a little bit, probably. I also want to make sure this doesn't burn because this is just straight sugar and flour. So once again, medium low heat, so it should be fine. Okay, that's looking good. So I think the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strain this out a little bit more. And I have a chinois for it, which is like essentially a super fine mesh strainer. So let me show you like a regular sieve. And I don't know if you'll be able to pick up the difference on the camera, but this is a little bit more like hardy, like fine mesh than this. So this traps a lot more shit than this does. But the thing about these is they're very robust and very large, but they're a little expensive. But it's definitely worth it, I would say. Let me drop this really quick so that way I can really get in here and make sure nothing's burning at the bottom. Because I don't want to clean up burnt sugar. We got to be careful. I might make a mess. Okay, I like that a lot better. All right, this is starting to come together how I want it. You see how it's like, it's more loose. You can't see like granulated crystals. It looks more like a caramel. It's not caramelized, but it looks more like a caramel. That's what we're looking for right there. It's got a nice, like, nutty, molassesy aroma to it too, which is quite pleasing to the nostrils. So, apples covered in cinnamon already, right? I guess I'm gonna put this like over here like this. You might be able to see it a little bit, and I'm gonna make sure I get like a rubber spatula. And we're just going to pour this bitch over the top and then start mixing. Get it nice and covered. But yeah, when you do these pies, make sure everything's cold before you start assembling it. Because if it's not, you might have some issues. The crust won't come out how you want to, most likely, if there's like any presence of like room temperature heat or anything like that. Not to say that it wouldn't if you do everything quick enough. But I don't know. I just, for consistency's sake, it's best if you don't. Let me move some of these so I don't like knock anything over. You always want to watch your pot handles, dude. That shit'll fuck you up. Especially if you got hot shit inside of there with like pot handles. But yeah, so what happens is this filling brings out the juices inside of the apples, which creates a more balanced, like, you know, like sort of like syrupy, like sauce on the inside. So all you got to do is just let it sit for a little bit, and all those juices get drawn out, and then it's like nice and cold by the time that happens inside of the refrigerator. And then yeah, you're pretty much good to go, dude. I don't normally do this though. This is the second time I've made this in like years. I've made apple pie adjacent things before, but nothing quite like this. In about like, let's say like 12 years. I just recently started workshopping this recipe again, like last week. But yeah, so once you get it like nice and mixed together, that's pretty much good to go, dude. Put it inside the refrigerator, get it nice and cold, and then assemble the pie later. So, next thing that I'm going to be doing is putting that gravy together. And I'm going to put this in the sink and get some water on that so it doesn't get crusty. I don't know if my connection's cooked. Is my connection cooked? Did it happen again? I gotta rinse this out too. Should be fine, right? Surely. And put my bay leaves up. Okay, so next thing is the gravy, right? A lot of butter. A lot of butter. Like, for some reason I can't see like the chat loading up or anything. What's happening? I don't know if it's cooked. Is it cooked? So once again, I have all of the flavoring and like all that shit that you want for your what is it? Your stock and like to make a good gravy. Like I pretty much have that just ready to go. Honestly, I think this might be a little too much butter. I don't know. I'll have to see. Yeah, I'll stick that right there, and then we'll put this back in the wrapper. I think that's going to be fine, as is. Because I don't want to do too much. Because if I do too much, then it's going to be super fucking thick. And we do not want it super fucking thick. Alright. Crank this down just a little bit. I have a second whisk. See, now it's too little. That's fine. We can just do this number. Yeah, a little bit of oil, butter, same difference when it comes to roux. Big whisk. As long as you have some sort of fat and flour, I'm going to do just a little bit more of each. As long as you have some sort of fat and flour, then you're pretty much making a roux. Yeah, I don't have to put much in here, so all of the flavor essentially comes from this, which is like a very rich broth. Very rich. Type 1 in the chat if I'm actually still live. I don't know if I can see the chats or not for some reason. I don't know if it's cooked. Might be cooked. Yes. Okay, it's working. I just want to make sure that like nothing blew up, because I didn't want to have to restart the stream again. Cheesy grandpa in the house. I just want to make sure. Once again, we're just kind of looking for that like cooked flour smell. Slightly nutty, not like super nutty, but like slightly nutty. It's getting there. Let me make you more centered. Let me just grab you by your throat and just make you more centered right there so you can see a little bit better. So there's technically two grips for whisks. It's either like this or this. I kind of alternate between the two depending on like what I'm trying to accomplish. All right, let's see how we go. So this is like warm. And obviously, when we do our thickened sauces, any sort of thickening agent whatsoever, whether it be xanthan gum, agar, pectin, fucking, you know, cornstarch, all that shit, you always want to make sure that you bring it to a boil, because once you bring it to a boil, that's as thick as it's going to get. So if it's already thick when you just pour it in during this stage and it hasn't been brought to a boil yet, you probably need to add liquid. But yeah, there's a lot of flavor. Normally, I might add extra shit to this, like onions, garlic, blah blah blah, like seasonings and stuff. There's a lot of flavor inside of that, so you don't really have to. I do need to add salt though. Salt is definitely, because I don't salt my stocks. You never salt a stock when you make it, because it draws out like certain impurities from like the bones and like all that shit that you don't necessarily want. It reacts chemically with the bones and like draws out some extra flavors and like things that you don't necessarily want. That's what they always told me in school and like, you know, professionally and shit back in the day. I had some Worcestershire in here too, or Worcestershire, whatever you want to fucking call it. I don't know. This is like a source of umami, essentially, you know? Makes it better. And then we'll give it a little taste in a second. The one good thing about these whisks, though, is this little bit at the end right here. This is a great little scraping tool for like the sides of pots to make sure nothing's getting stuck. So that's why they got that. All right, so next thing, we're gonna taste it. Make them taste it. Yep. So it's like, you know, reduced, like unctuous, like chicken, carrots, onions, celery, whole garlic cloves, and like a bunch of thyme and bay leaves inside of the stock with whole peppercorns. So all of that comes through beautifully, and this is like a really good gravy actually. So the flavor is gonna be a lot better when it comes together. I could use a little bit more salt, but I'm gonna wait a little bit. But that's great. And then the this just kind of makes it pop a little bit. Gives it that extra like umami like sort of deal that makes it like something you really crave, you know? The product is always 10 times better when you make the chicken stock yourself, though. I can guarantee that. Wash your sister sauce. That's what I'm saying, dude. But yeah. I will say that if you want to make your own chicken stock for Thanksgiving, make sure you reduce it, because I wish I could just like fucking make you taste this shit, so that way you could understand the difference. It tastes good. It tastes really fucking good. Once again, we're gonna bring this to a boil, then that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm gonna put it inside of this bad boy right here. It's one of the best exports from the UK culinary wise is this bad boy right here. This shit. It's either this or the Asian equivalent is what do you call it? Fish sauce. And then when we go to where the origin of Worcestershire comes from, it's a play on a ancient Roman thing called garum. Where that's like it's a fermented like fish sauce essentially. It's like garum, but not necessarily like garum. You know, look up garum if you ever want to see somebody make some garum. That's some fucking crazy looking shit. But it's essentially a fermented fish sauce. Obviously, if you know anything about history, you know that the Romans originally invaded Britannia back in whatever year, like really fucking long time ago. And they must have brought that with them, because garum was like I don't know, like Americans bring Coca-Cola someplace, or Americans bring Spam during World War II or something like that. Same concept. So Worcestershire would be slightly based off of garum. Obviously, they would add their own flair to it, as you do. But yeah, that's where it comes from. I'm pretty certain on that. Pretty fucking certain. Fact check me. We're almost there. It's almost boiling. I think we eyeballed it well. But a way to make this a little bit better, I don't have it because I forgot. Because normally I would have a giant bottle of white wine here. I forgot the white wine, so I do not have white wine. Yeah. Adding a little bit of white wine to the beginning of this would be really, really good. But I don't have it. And honestly, tasting this, it doesn't necessarily need it that much. But you can see the texture is like, refer to that as like nappe. I know it's a French term. I apologize. I can't speak French, but that's what we called it in school, where it coats the back of the spoon, or just kind of like coats the spoon. That's what you're looking for, really. And that's literally Thanksgiving gravy, so a little bit of extra salt. Then that's good. Eating pasta alla amatriciana. Amatriciana. Pasta alla amatriciana. Hell yeah, that sounds good, bro. I don't know anything about that. I don't know what that is. But yeah, beautiful consistency. Beautiful. Very, very classic stuff right here. It doesn't look like a lot, but I promise I did my work to make sure that there was flavor. This sauce is actually roughly like 4 hours, 30 minutes of labor to make this. So, I promise. Alrighty. Nappe. Good pronunciation. I can't tell you if I'm right or wrong, but yeah, that's Thanksgiving gravy, dude. That's what that is. So my instructions for her are to, when she heats this up, put this in a pot. It's going to be like a Jell-O brick, essentially. Like add like a little bit of water and like slowly heat it and whisk it over a period of time. And it's just literally going to come out how you want to. You private message me the recipe. So here we go. I'll tell you what I could do since I have a captive audience. It's gonna give me just a second. Give me just a second. A multiverse draw, I know. I'm sorry, by the way. This is I can't do all of this and do the dishes at the same time, so all this is getting done after the fact. I promise my kitchen doesn't always look like this. Okay. Let me get this together. Alright, so let me see this really quick. You should be able to see it pretty good. Alright, so I also have an everything drawer. Alright, so we have the chicken stock. This is how it starts out. Mirepoix, right? So mirepoix is 1 part celery, 1 part carrot, what do you call it? 2 parts onion, 2 parts onion, very important, right? Because onion is like a very important aromatic that gives it that nice like flavor that you expect from a chicken stock. And then here's the thing, 2 whole chickens deboned. You want to use the carcass from the chicken when you take all the meat off of it. So you're deboning the thighs. I save the wings just so I can like make wings in my air fryer. That's just me though. So debone everything and save the carcass and the bones. Put it inside of the stock pot with all this. And then the next thing you want to do is your herbs and your other aromatics. So all right, so next thing is bay leaf, a whole bunch of thyme. whole bunch of thyme, and then whole peppercorns. So the idea is you bring it to a boil with all of this shit inside of here, and then skim off the fat that comes off of it, right? And then after you're done skimming it, we do something we refer to as we used to call in the industry setting the stock. This is what you're setting the stock with, is your bay leaf, thyme, whole peppercorns. After it's already brought to a boil, you skim the fat off, because if you just throw all this shit in and then start skimming, you just pick out all of this shit, right? So all of this, right? So you simmer roughly for 4 hours. Okay? 4 hours is typically a good sweet spot when it comes to chicken stock. You want the best hallmark to make sure it's like done is like if you pick up a carrot and you can just like push it in your fingers and it just like turns to mush. That's how you really know it's done, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's basically it. If you want to take a screenshot, I'll give you a good little still. So take a screenshot of that shit. There you go. So yeah. And that's the basis of chicken stock. So, yeah. I need to find my fucking my dry erase markers. I don't know where the hell those things went. Gordon Ramsay of gaming. I'm telling you, dude. Someone's got to do it. Want to do a live dishwashing POV? Let's do that. I don't see Stone Mountain doing this. I don't see Pie Man doing this. I don't see... Wait, who's the other guy? I don't see other streamers doing this. Spartacus, that's another guy. I don't see Spartacus doing this. The one thing about the chinois is that it's very difficult to clean. But it is the most superior form of strainer that you can own. So much shit. You have to start boosting publications to become famous. one of these strainers. We call that, yeah. So that's the origin. The origin of it. It's like kind of I don't know why they call it a chinois, but back in school when we were learning about like different like types of strainers and like what you call them, we refer to this as a chinois. I understand it means Chinese in French, but that's just what we call it. At least in the United States. I don't know in French kitchens. I think it's because it resembles the straw hat. It's like stereotypical. Because there's ones that are the same shape, but just have like little holes, like a colander, that you refer to as a china cap. Yeah, that should be good. Gonna get canceled. Gonna get canceled. That's what we call that's what they call them in the industry, though. So, you know, you can hate me, you can not hate me. I don't know. Cancel. The maintenance people came to my house, like maybe at the beginning of this year or something, and like recently, like tweaked my the temperature of my what do you call it? Or my water heater, and oh boy, this shit is hot, and it gets off everything. So nice. I think it comes out at like 120 degrees for my hot water. Just enough so I can like melt shit off of the pot, but also enough so it doesn't burn your hands, but too bad at the same time. Pretty damn good. Obviously the gold standard is like 165 degree, but like I don't have a good hot water heater like that. I live in a damn apartment, so. Looks like the sun's out there, yeah. Well, it's like ish, you know. Somewhat. It's like sort of, it's like kind of cloudy to be honest, but. Yeah, it's definitely like sun and then overcast, sun, overcast, one of those days, you know. Beautiful, right? This is the one with the sugar in it. I mean, I'm sure you guys already know this, but if you have like something that's like crusty with sugar, all you gotta do is just put hot water in it and it dissolves 9 times out of 10. Even if it's like burnt, like overly caramelized burnt sugar or some shit like that, just put hot water in it and normally it'll like, you know, it'll come out really easily. You just gotta get like a whisk or a spoon or something and start scraping with hot water. Yeah, the bottom is like, that's pretty crusty, musty, and dusty, if I do say so myself. You know what we probably need? Is we probably need that big one. Didn't know you were going to learn advanced dishwashing tech today, did you? But yeah, for like the really, really messy shit, you gotta have the steel wool, dude. You gotta have the steel wool. You got Kiri coming in. What's going on? 8 p.m. here, totally dark. Yeah, we're a little bit farther out. It's like fucking 2:02. All right, Kiri. I made the gravy, and I think it came out pretty damn good. Gravy. I got the brine, cooling, all that type of shit. Yeah? I think that's looking good. Put on the stove, boil the water. It's all good, man. You just gotta believe. You gotta believe and use a little bit of the old elbow grease. And you're good to go, bro. Save the water. Well, rest in peace, water. Little bit of the old elbow grease. That one wasn't bad enough to have to boil. But yeah, that's looking pretty decent, dude. Not too bad, dude. Not too bad. I think next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like shred some cheese. And then I don't know what else there is to do, really. I mean, maybe I could get away with doing the pie right now. I don't know. Potentially. Yeah, it's good. Kind of a psychotic cleaner, in case you haven't noticed. I still need to do the stove, but I'm not going to do that right now. Boil! Okay. I'll worry about this a little bit later. I don't think I really need it right now. Got some leftover shit right here, too. This is what the food influencers don't show you. This is what they don't show you. This is 90% of cooking, is doing this. Cooking professionally, 90% of what you do is being a janitor. Dead serious. It's what they don't want to tell you. Someone said cheese. Oh, yeah. All right, that's looking good. Trying to think of what way I want to do this. Hold up. Logistics are happening. That right there, like that. That like that. And then I'll show this really quick too, since this is like part of the process of what we're doing. You can see how the liquid's starting to come out of the apples. It's the maceration process I was talking about. And it smells exactly how it looks. Yeah, before I start doing the, so this is the brine, obviously. Before I start doing it, the shredding the cheese, I have these, I'm going to go ahead and brine these. So this is kind of a salty brine. I would like to, I don't really want to put a plate in here. Typically, if you like are trying to brine something and it's like floating up to the surface, the best thing to do is get like a small plate, like put it down. So that way, like, as you can see, like some of it's peeking out. Like the idea would you'd have a plate, so all of it's submerged and it's like evenly like soaking up the brine. This is a very salty brine, so I'm probably going to salt it or brine it for like a good... shit, when should, maybe like 2 hours, like 2 hours 30, some shit. But yeah, same thing you do if you were like pickling something and like it's like floating to the surface. Same concept. So you put that in there, completely submerges it, right? And that way the brine is very even. So I am going to put that inside of the refrigerator. You are right to clean just after. This channel is a utility to mankind. Oh, shit. You're too kind. That's realistic shit right there, though. Like, you fucking clean, you know? That's what it is. You clean shit. But yeah, I'm gonna brine those for like 2 hours, I think. I think that'll be best. Morris. Okay, so cheese time. And they're nothing like, you know, it's just American sharp cheddar, some Colby Jack, because that's what Carrie wanted to put inside of her mac and cheese. Yeah. How am I gonna do this? I guess I'm gonna retract the bipod again. Stop it. He's thinking about jumping up again. This is how you live stream on a budget. Okay, that should be good. And then I'll just move some of this shit over here. absolutely barbaric. Okay. So I'm just going to open this bitch up and then essentially just shred it. And that's it. Maybe I could roll out the dough. I'll have to check it. Let's see. Maybe I can get away with it. I'm going to wait. I don't want to fuck it up, so I'm going to wait. We're still here. This is not cheese. This is solid flavored milk in a box. Exactly. Welcome to the United States. Cheese. I know you need your fucking old ass, smelly fucking cheeses and your Gruyeres. Oh, come on, you guys got Gruyere, dude. This is cheddar Gruyere. Come on. I've seen some Gruyères that look like some fucking, like, they look like cheddar. Saw a TikTok of a girl using a zester to grate 3 pounds of cheese. Fuck that, dude. We're still here. Morris, I swear to God, I'm going to skin you. Meow. Stop it. Stop. Go. 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 Look at him. If he jumps up there, he's probably going to flip over the board. Yeah, isn't there some sort of, like, recipe that everyone's trying to do right now with, like, oh, yeah, so-and-so's mac and cheese recipe? It's like, I don't know, bro. Every single year, there's a new trendy mac and cheese recipe that everyone wants to do. As a French, I'm offended by that. I apologize. I apologize for my cultural insensitivity. But Gruyere, I mean, come on, bro. It's similar. It's similar. It looks like it, bro. It looks very similar. I guarantee you go to that supermarket over there. You're gonna find a packaged piece of Gruyere that looks very similar to this. If you look hard enough, you will. Right. All right, so this is advanced cheese grating tech right here. I have the paper towel, right? I have this. All right, bear with me here, all right? Watch this. Right? Teeny, it's amazing. I made it last year. Okay. Yeah, we typically just do like a stovetop mac and cheese, like nothing too crazy. You are a cook, so you know cheese. I'm not much of a fan of like the actual cheeses, like actual cheeses. Like, you know, you like that, Bryant? Seeing your weenus, getting me rock solid. Y'all are some freaky motherfuckers. Love your content, Mario. Keep up the good work. I have to admit the truth. Supermarkets in France selling some non-cheese shit. Yep. It's everywhere, dude. Everywhere. Everywhere in the civilized world. Everywhere in the civilized world. Yeah, Rockford. Is that the I forget which one that is. Is that like the really, really smelly one that I see people trying? Should be on OnlyFans. All right, that's good. Okay. This one's the harder one because you have to be extra careful. Otherwise, I will make a mess. Right? And we're good. Cheese. If you didn't want to use a paper towel, you could use parchment paper, but I mean, I got paper towels sitting right here, so why not? This is starting to turn me on. Sinners, you need God. Repent. I feel like you might spill this. Wrong, I didn't spill it. I'm just now reading that message, so you probably knew that now, but yeah, no. There is more smelly than Rockford, but there is green mold in it. Yeah, I used to do like charcuterie boards and like cheese boards at a place I used to work at, and we used to get like all of like the fancy artisanal cheeses and stuff like that, with like some of them being like French adjacent, or like French inspired and produced domestically inside of the United States. And bro, I can't. I tried. I can't do it. I can't do the fancy cheese, bro. I can't. Do I want to do the pie dough right now? I might fuck it up if I do the pie dough. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Because it is like, it's probably in the 60s right now. It's probably in the 60s. The temperature, like 60 degrees-ish. So I guess I could, but I gotta like really scrub this because I'm gonna be putting dough that I'm gonna eat and other people are gonna eat on the counter. So bear with me. The truth has been spoken. Shout out God. Shout out JC. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I don't have a rolling pin though, and you're gonna see what I used instead of a rolling pin. You're gonna laugh at me. But guess what? It works. It definitely works. Anything is a rolling pin as long as it's cylindrical. Some of these marks on here are like permanent stains that I've bleached to hell. So this is a sanitized surface, I promise. I have very strange countertops. They're covered with some sort of enamel paint shit. Okay. I don't know, I just got it from the grocery store. I have granite. I hate the raw edges. I hate the raw edges on it, but they're decent. Yeah, no, these ain't it. For me, goat cheese is the best, but often the strongest. The worst in the world. Check Philippines. Oh yeah, blood. Any sort of blood soup, or like something where they use blood to fortify a soup and or like thicken it. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Yeah, surely this will be fine. If I fuck it up, I'm gonna blame it on you guys because I am kind of like rushing the chilling process on this, but it'll be fine, right? There's a lot of places that do like blood soups. So essentially, for this recipe, it's like for each side of the crust, it's roughly 1 stick of butter and a cup and a half of the, how do you say? A cup and a half of the flour. So that's that. And we have my rolling pin. A Starbucks cup. Because I am broke and I'm not going to buy a piece of wood. I'm going to ask somebody else to get it for me, but I'm not going to get it. If I want a piece of wood, I'll go out in my backyard and grab it off of the tree. I'll give you a stick of butter. Sean, I would love that. All right, here we go. So, yeah, that should be good. It'll be fine. Yeah. All right, let me make some space really quick. I tell you what, I probably need to add a little extra from this into it. It should be well rested. Do a little extra. Okay. It's exactly what you think. I cleaned this the other time I used it, so I'm not going to worry about that. So, yeah. Literally making dough. Just like what it says on the tin, pretty much. Alright, that should be enough space. I'm going to make it like a disc. Okay, chat. Rolling pin for Christmas. Yeah, boudin. We have a variety of boudin that we do in the South that comes from Louisiana in specific. That it doesn't have blood in it, but it is stuffed with like sausage filling and like rice and a couple of aromatics. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't have a rolling pin. Because I just recently got into dough, you know? Just recently got into it. So it's like roll, quarter turn, roll. And that's like the way you get it the most consistent. Plus, she never uses this cup, so it's basically a rolling pin. But yeah, that's it, dude. Hello. I feel like I made the crust too thick last time, to be honest. You don't have to use a lot of flour, just enough so that it doesn't stick to it as well. In case you're wondering, like, oh, should I just do a mound of flour on my cutting board? 9 times out of 10, your dough is going to suffer if you just do a mound of flour on your cutting board, or like your work surface, whatever have you. But yeah. I'll probably flip it over and do the other one. We're getting there though. We have to make it like relatively circular. Yeah, you only need like a light dusting just to make sure it doesn't like fucking stick and create a mess. Bro over here using the struggle cup. For sure getting you a rolling pin. You don't gotta give me shit, bro. Don't give me shit. Y'all do enough for me. I promise. I promise y'all do enough for me. Y'all don't need to give me shit. Don't give me shit. Because I got plenty of other people who get me shit, alright? I promise. I'm not alone in this. I got family. Close. Very close. This hard watch. We're gonna need your address. Okay, so wait until this VOD is posted. And I did accidentally show my address when I was looking for a Sharpie earlier on in the stream. I'm gonna let you guys look for it. I'll leave it up. I'm gonna leave it up for like 3 hours before I delete it. But I did show my address on accident. I was looking for a marker on my shelf, and I accidentally showed my address. So find it, and then that'll be my way to try to make you guys not send me shit. All right, that's looking pretty good. And then we can use the trimmings from the side to like fill in that other bit down there. You can't see it though. Hold up, let me move this. Noted. I did. Yeah, we use the trimmings to fill in this bit right here. It doesn't necessarily matter if it's the bottom portion. So, all right, I'm going to get a little knife or something for this. So you don't have to grease the bottom of this because of the butter inside of the dough. It doesn't stick, right? The butter inside of the dough is what's going to prevent it from sticking in this scenario. So you don't need to worry about like spraying it with like, you know, pan spray or like anything like that. The lubrication is the dough itself. Yeah, I accidentally leaked my address in this stream. When this VOD is posted, if you want to send me something, look. If you don't want to send me something, which I really prefer if you didn't, because I kind of feel bad. You got to look for it. You got to find it. I'm making you work for it. Making you guys work for it. All right, that's looking pretty good to me. Just trim this up just a little bit more and smooth it out. My patched up side right here, and then we're good. roughly. Right? Not bad. I'm gonna put this in the freezer for now. Okay. Now we do the top. It's starting to get a little stuck on here. Gonna send SWAT. Send anthrax. I don't know. Anthrax is kind of out of style now, though. Not many people do that anymore. Now it's swatting. That's lame, dude. Remember back in the day? That's the problem with kids these days. They don't send anthrax anymore. Right? It's a new generation, you know what I'm saying? Back in my day, it was anthrax. I'm just gonna show up. Let me in! Let me in! Let me in! He said, did the dishes, two, but no one was watching me. You were lucky. Ah, it's all good. It's all good. You don't need people watching you while you're doing dishes. One of the things they used to do back in the day when I first started washing dishes and learning how to cook at my first job, they would give you certain tasks that would make you, they would vibe check you essentially. They would give you like a really poor schedule, like where you would be you'd be working the night shift until like 1 a.m. and then they'd make you turn around and wake up at like, make you wake up at 5 to get there at like 6 or some shit. Man, anthrax, what a throwback. That's what I'm saying. And one of the things they had me do was make biscuits, like fucking 200 biscuits, after washing dishes on like peak Friday night, and like turn around and do that. So I learned a lot about these types of doughs from doing that shit back in the day. But yeah, I got they used to do that shit all the time. They're like, are you sure you want to do this? Here, let me give you the shittiest job ever. You sure you want to do this? We're going to make you more tired than you've ever been in your life. You sure you want to do this? We're going to be like bad about your scheduling. You know? Shit like that. Back in my day. Exactly. Isn't it funny how every single generation like starts to look down on the other generation underneath them? It's just like, it's part of getting older, you know? It's just being like, oh yeah, back in my day. I feel like we need to go a little bit further with this. Yeah, I'll show you something in a second. Wonder if you'll be able to see it up close. I think my camera's good enough. I'm not sure if the bitrate on the stream is good enough for the live streaming on from phones, but this is a great time to show you how the flaky dough is supposed to look. I have to turn this around. So you can see this right here. This is butter. It's like marbled into the dough, essentially. And this is what creates flaky biscuits, flaky pie doughs, all that sort of stuff. It's the process of having your dough like spliced in with relatively like room temperature to like cold butter that's solid in there. It didn't turn to oil and then went throughout the entire dough. So that's the secret. You got to make sure your shit's cold when you put it together. Cold. Right? So, yeah. That's why all the recipes will tell you to freeze your butter, blah, 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 do this with your butter. Mainly freeze is the best, like, surefire way not to make it go all the way through the dough and melt. Woo! Okay. So that's good to go. We have this, and then we're going to put it all together. Last time I did this, I didn't make a big enough hole in the center, and it like ballooned up. So I'm going to try to make a bigger hole this time when I do it. So yeah, that'll be perfect. That's like relatively the size. Okay. So I'm going to put this, we have this little bit right here. You can let this harden and throw it through your neighbor's window or something. It's normally what you do. Yeah, I guess I'll just start right here for now, because that's where the other flour is. And then we'll put everything in, and then it should be good to go. I already got the oven heated up. So normally what I do is I'll do 400 degrees in the oven, right? 400 degrees. I'm sorry, wait a second. I fucked it up. 415 in the oven first for like 20 minutes, something like that. And then you just crank it down to like 400 to like 375-ish, depending on how hot your oven is. And let it finish the rest of the way for like 40 minutes. So that's the idea. Yeah, the more densely packed you can get these apples inside of here, the better it's going to turn out. Just joined in. What kind of pie are you making? I'm making apple flavor. But yeah, you want to try to pack them in as densely as possible. And obviously, it doesn't matter if the fillings, like there's like extra liquid with the filling inside of here, because this is like the thickening agent for the pie. It's the things that thicken it are the pectin inside of the apples, the flour butter combination, the sugar, all that sort of stuff. That's where the thickening comes from. Pectin is a natural thickening agent. If you guys have ever made jam or like anything like that, I'm not sure how much you know about pectin, but pectin's a natural thickening agent that's present in most fruits and berries. So, yeah. And that's looking pretty good to me. So now I have to properly seal this and then put a hole in the center. And I'm going to press this down just a little bit more, I think, with my hands. Just so I can make sure everything's densely packed. But that should be good. And I'm going to rinse some of that shit off. Just joined in. What kind of pie are you making? Okay, I already read that. 1 second. So we got to try to seal it in. Tell you what, probably want to lower this down a little bit. You'll be able to see it a little bit better, probably. So I got the two sides right here, and I'm trying to seal them together as much as possible. And kind of create my crust. I'm not going to do like any fancy crust shit. I'm just trying to get it, you know, I'm over function over presentation when it comes to things like this. Because I want shit to, like, you know, taste good. I don't really care if it looks good. If it looks like a pie, it's probably going to taste like a pie, you know? So I don't need any like fancy methods for, you know, crimping my crust. I'll probably go with a fork afterwards around the sides just to make sure I really seal it. But that's about it. The fork is always a classic maneuver. Always a classic maneuver. No scary face. I just realized what you meant. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Okay, that's looking good to me, so we're gonna get a fork and then go around the sides, and then I say cut a hole in the center, and then that's good. I tell you what, if I wouldn't get copyrighted, I would play music, but unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. Okay, boom. I mean, that looks like a pie. Toot, 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 toot. Interesting. I didn't know that. Alrighty, so I'm making a larger hole than I did last time. Ooh. Pie ussy. Okay, I think that's good. probably like unmound that a little bit because it's very suggestive. But yeah, looks good already. That's literally a pie, y'all. All we gotta do is just throw it in the oven and wait an hour, and you know, it'll be done. Oh wait, okay. Last time I did this, I made a mistake. Wait a second. Very suggestive. Pie-ussy. So put your pie directly on one of these bad boys because there's a percentage chance that the sides like will burst open if you didn't seal them properly, and it'll fuck up. Now the one thing that we need to do before we put it in the oven, which is the secret sauce, is egg wash. So what happens when you put egg wash on pastries, if you guys have made any pastries and you used egg wash before, then you know that the yolk and like all that sort of stuff from the egg ends up creating a nice brown layer on the top of the pie. So I'll show you what we got going on with that. So it's literally just one egg and then just like a little splash of water. You don't want it to be goopy, but you don't want it to be like super watery at the same time. So I guess we'll just use this bad boy right here. No sugar, no salt, just literally egg and water. Just like fully mixed in as well as you can. Everything reminds me of her. Yeah, that's perfect. So I don't want to use one of those brushes to like brush it all around. So I'm literally just gonna get a paper towel and just like smear it and dab it on there. Because it's basically the same thing. And you don't have to clean up a disgusting brush. I always found those brushes in kitchens very gross. Yeah, that's the secret sauce of pastries, especially things like this. One-handed egg? What do you think? You think that I'd be able to do all this shit and I won't be able to crack an egg with one hand? I would be a fraud. I would be a fraud. All right, and that bitch goes in the oven. That's it. Boom. No brush. I have one. But it gets gross. I like to use it for like particular things where I have no choice but to use a brush. But if you don't have a brush, or you just don't want to use it, like, and you're like me, then use the paper towel. That way you don't have like a disgusting like mound of like hair and food in your kitchen. Personal preference, literal personal preference. There's nothing wrong if you do it. It's just that, like, for me, that's just what I prefer. So there's now latex brushes. They are more clean. True. They are more clean. That is true. But I don't know. So that's that. The pie is made. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of this. And I got to call Kiri back because she called me like 2 times during this stream. But yeah, that'll be it, dude. That's how you make a pie. Literally just, once again, like 20 minutes on 415, then crank it down to like roughly 375 to like 400, depending on the temperature of your oven. If it's like runs really hot, probably want to err on the side of like 357. If it runs really cold, you probably want to err on the side of 400. So this is 1970 brush method, exactly. And I could literally just use my fingers too, but I find that you get better dispersion when you use the paper towel. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn up the stream. I gotta handle my business. Bye.